David Savage, a.k.a. Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, so welcome to the show. Let's get on with the Star Wars news. Later on the show, I have a review in the review section of this show. That's right, a review of the latest, and I think the final episode of Disney Plus's The Gallery. It's The Mandalorian. It's all about behind the scenes of The Mandalorian. It's on Disney Plus. It's episode 8. I'm sure it's the final episode. It's called Connections. There will be a review of that later on. That's also making the news. So just check out Disney Plus on one of your devices. You can get it. It's a streaming service, and they have The Mandalorian, which is great, and now a behind the scenes sort of 8-part episode series, and I think that's the final one, but I'm not completely sure on that one. But it's called Connections. You can check it out on Disney Plus right now. It is a bit of fun. Anyway, to more news. As I've been reporting the last couple of weeks, there was no official announcement about Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2020, but yes, days ago they have cancelled it. That means they're not postponing it, but they're cancelling it, which is a little bit unusual. But I've got some more information about this a bit later on the show after the review section, which is called Interviews. I'll be discussing a bit more about that. But Star Wars Celebration in 2020 in Anaheim has been cancelled. It's now going to the year 2022, which is 2 more years away for Star Wars Celebration, but still in the same place, Anaheim, which is great. Anyway, so that's but also you get a free pin. People who bought tickets get a pin. It's a Stormtrooper pin that you can use as a collector's sort of thing. Now it's you just have to request that. Just check out the Star Wars Celebration page. So that is pretty much. Sorry, there's one more piece of Star Wars news. If all you people out there are into Baby Yoda, the child, whatever you want to call it, from The Mandalorian, the little guy, you can still get a Black Series Yoda, but you've got that's Baby Yoda, or the child, but you really have to get yourself in now for the last shipments of these Black Series. I got myself hands on one. I'm waiting for it to be sent, but I've got to wait for that. But also, if you miss out on that, Pop Vinyl, the Funko Pop things, are releasing a couple of more versions of the child in the next month. So look out for that one in your pop culture store. If you're here in Australia, Zing is very good. It's quite a commercial franchise here. But also if you're in Melbourne, Australia, a very good place is Minotaur. It's absolute legendary store. It's a bit dusty and dirty, but it's very funky and great. Minotaur, that's in Melbourne. If you can't come here to Melbourne, you're from overseas, just check out their website. They've got a whole range of things, and it's an iconic store here in Melbourne. Anyway, so that's pretty much the Star Wars news for this time around. Let's get into the views. Views is about my story ideas that I have about Star Wars. It could be about the episode of Mandalorian. It could be something about a standalone film. It could be about a poster, a song, just a story idea within Star Wars. This time around, I'm going to ask, I'm going to say, can Anakin, Hayden Christensen, really appear in another Star Wars thing, like some sort of TV or movie? Can it happen, and what can he do? I think the best, if it was me, as my story idea, I think the best thing to do with Hayden Christensen, from the fans who liked him and the fans who didn't like him, I'm one that I liked him. I know he was a little bit stale here and there, but for me, I think he did well. It was fine. He had the look. I think his eyes said it all. When you really look at the acting that he was doing. But anyway, that's my quick, humble opinion. But I think he should appear definitely in the Kenobi series, if that still go ahead. The live TV action series for Kenobi, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi, that they're planning to have with Ewan McGregor reprising the role as Obi-Wan. I think Hayden Christensen would fit in there well because they did have some sort of chemistry, those two, whether you like Hayden Christensen or not. I think there was still a good involvement between those two. I think they worked together fine. And I think it can work in that TV series as it's sort of not too much and not too little. And it sort of reprises his role. But obviously he would have to play the role of Darth Vader because Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, Kenobi will be sort of set after, the fall of Anakin into Darth Vader. But that's what it's sort of a story idea. It's not an exact story, but I think he is worthy, Hayden Christensen, to reprise his role again, come back in that particular series, the Kenobi series, whenever that is going to come to air. It will no doubt come to Disney Plus, but no confirmation is as yet. Anyway, that's my story idea. Let's get into reviews. Reviews this week is on the Disney Plus show called The Gallery. It's Star Wars The Mandalorian, which is also on Disney Plus. Both of these are things on Disney Plus. It's the episode 8, Connections. Now, straight off the bat, I'm going to give this episode a 9 out of 10. This was a fun, informative episode. All the tidbits that I forgot and didn't even know was in this episode. It probably dragged a little towards the end of the episode, but it had so many tidbits. A hardcore fan would just know what it is if you're really a hardcore fan. Like, for example, that the ice cream maker, my God, like that was a great little piece of reprising something from the past and bringing it back into Star Wars. That was great. Just to see that IG-88, I think it was, his actual robotic form was actually used in sort of different parts of Tatooine, which I thought was something I didn't even know, can you believe? But I thought that was interesting. Just all the tidbits, like all the characters and that they were mentioning in this particular episode, connections, really just brought some fun to this final episode, which I'm assuming is the final episode, and also just informative. It was really informative. I thought it was great. And that's it. So it's, a 9 out of 10 for me. You can see that series right now on Disney Plus. So check that out on one of your devices, whatever you have. So let's get now into interviews. 2 questions we'll ask myself for you guys out there. And it's going to be 2 questions about Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim. Question 1. What is good for Star Wars Celebration Anaheim cancelling? What is so good? What's one example of being so good that it's been cancelled? Well, I think for the obvious reasons in the state of the world, that is coronavirus state I'm talking about, it really is something that needs to be done. A lot of international guests go to this Star Wars Celebration event, and for them to travel, they wouldn't be able to get there. For them to stay in hotels, it would be under extreme scrutiny, and being at the actual event, my God, if you think the lines are hardcore there and trying to get into panels and stuff like that, it's just too excruciating. I think it's a good thing that they cancelled it. I unfortunately don't love that Star Wars is going to be held off for a little while, as I'm a big Star Wars head, whether they do things right or wrong. I was definitely a fan of Star Wars Celebration. I went to the 2. I went to the Orlando and Chicago one. Great events, just poorly run by that Repop company. Creating just not the worst idea was the lottery system for getting into the big panels. Even though that's sort of fair in a way, but it's unfair for people traveling so far away just to get to the event and not be able to get into a panel that they want to see. People do a lot of miles, but anyway, I think it's a good thing that they've cancelled it for the sake of the world being in this coronavirus COVID-19 thing. It's just crazy at the moment. But anyway, so what's a bad thing? My second question, what's a bad thing that about Star Wars Celebration at Anaheim being cancelled? Well, it's sort of a confusion thing because it's been cancelled, but people who have actually bought their tickets can transfer their tickets to the next one, which has been announced, which is going to be in 2022 in Anaheim. So Star Wars Celebration has been moved forward rather than properly being cancelled, and you can get refunds if you want. But the problem is, for example, myself, I did try to get tickets for this particular event, but I'm sort of glad I didn't because there's just not a whole lot out there that I really want to see at the moment. There's just not a really lot of things that would excite me going to such a big event, being so far away from where I live. But I think it's bad because now that you've got people ready to go into the event, 2 days of this 4-day event, I think it is, has sold out. Now that particular one, I really would like to go to the 2022 one because it will be closer to the movie release. If that movie goes ahead, the next Star Wars movie, which is going to be by Waikatiti. My goodness, I always get his name wrong. I'm from the same region next to New Zealand. I get his name wrong, but he's I'm excited for that. But I would like to go to this particular Star Wars Celebration. But now, look, some people will get refunds, some people will not transfer their ticket and stuff like that. But there'll still be largely sold out, and I'm sure the Jedi tickets will not reappear, and that gives us another shot to not be able to get those tickets. I think they need to work something out there. I think that's a real confusion that's going to happen when they sort of really announce the the lineup and stuff like that, and people get excited. Let's go, and they'll just know automatically straight away the tickets have been sold from the previous one that got cancelled, but not really cancelled. It's just been moved forward. So I think they need to sort of come up with an idea to recreate more tickets for the days that have been apparently sold out, and the 2 days that are left, or the 1 day maybe now, is just not the days that you just want to go to just as it is. You really want to be a part of the whole event, especially the first 2 days in a Star Wars Celebration. It's the most packed, most crazy, and the biggest panels, exciting panels are then. The ones towards the end are good, are great, good fun. But, that's more your shopping experience time. That's how I dealt with it. But, yeah, so the confusion for trying to get tickets to this next one, technically it's a next one because even though 2020 Star Wars Celebration Anaheim has been cancelled, it technically has been pushed forward, but pushed forward to a point of, it being going to be brand new with, some great things to look forward to seeing at Star Wars Celebration, like, no doubt, a second or first trailer or teaser for that next movie in 2022. Interestingly enough, it would be about 3 or 4 months before the release of that next movie, from what I can understand, because I think it's going to be in August of that particular year, 2022, and that next movie is in December, so it's going to be a very close call. But yeah, so I think it's that's the confusion. I hopefully and wishingly, and my request is to recreate tickets, even if it's not a Jedi Master ticket. Recreate some tickets for all the days. That's what I think. So they need to get a bigger venue or more access to that venue. That's what I think. And, hopefully it can pay off for them as well. Anyway, that's my answer to that question. And just to let you know, Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim was only 70 days away, about 70 days away, and it has been completely cancelled or postponed, whatever way you want to look at it. Anyway, if you would like to message me via YouTube, via Twitter, via Instagram, my details are down here. I am a Star Wars show that's weekly. News, views, reviews, interviews. And until next time, my friends, keep rocking.